Alrighty, we are here for something really strange.
Yes, now it's time for something completely different. Because for those who don't know, we have been binge watching Totally Spies at the moment. Season 1 at this point, to be honest.
And those who don't know is everyone, because we didn't tell anyone.
Well, obviously, but yeah, this is something we've been doing in our off time, and we've decided for fun to rank our feelings of the episodes as we get through the seasons. And because we are done with Season 1, yeah, this is the synopsis for Season 1 to get our scoring on these episodes.
It was an interesting first season. Never saw the series as a kid. I was more of a Kim Possible person. So let's get started with episode 1, A Thing for Musicians.
Yes.
This one, it'd be rock stars, basically, to try to figure out what was the plot. They were trying to mind control, I think, or something.
Yeah, basically someone was using a very famous young musician, Ricky Mthis, I think they were called.
Oh, and, you were there, huh? Cool.
But yeah, basically, they were trying to use his music with some secret mind control stuff to try and take over the world.
It had some pretty catchy music, actually. I think Duke did it better.
Yeah, probably. But we need to also remember that normally I would rank this a little bit more based on how continuous in the story everything is, but this is an early 2000s show, so none of these episodes are really in the same continuity, more or less. Yeah. They can be watched separately. So I'm not taking that into account when I'm scoring.
Yeah, I'm definitely not taking into account any story stuff. The only constant is Sam, Alex, Clover, and Mandy.
Yes, Mandy.
Hate her with a passion. Oh, and Clover got a crush on somebody in this episode. That's like standard,
she always does.
I think there's like 3 episodes she doesn't.
Now, I think with episode 1 here, I think it was a pretty decent start for a 2000 show. It was fairly okay. The villain had a reasonable plot using mind control through music.
I'm Ricky and I'm your master. Follow me as I spread disaster. Take over the government, do as I say. I'll rule the world and you'll obey.
A little bit cliche, but for a 2000 show, pretty damn good. Didn't see anything wrong with that. Like, nothing too weird about it.
No, but it did ruin my dreams that singers all sing and not lip sync.
Nice job lip syncing. Took me forever to get it right.
They ruined it.
Yeah, that's true. They had to do that in the episode.
Yeah, I don't think it was terrible.
I would say for an episode 1 for 2000 show, I would say it was great, personally.
Yeah, I was thinking between good or great in this case.
Yeah, I would say we should put it on great then.
There it is.
Yes.
We'll put it great for now. Maybe we'll define it later. I don't know.
We need to remind people that this is the first time we are doing this, so we are trying this along slowly.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Episode 2, The New Jerry. This one was interesting. Jerry was annoying the girls a little too much. And so some dude named Max Smith.
I'm Max Smith, your new Whoop Guardian.
Which I pretty much within like a minute figured out, oh, his name backwards is something else. Tim Scam. Yeah. So
Jerry decided after 35 wonderful years with Whoop that it was time he worked on his golf game.
It didn't take long for the episode to go about that. They showed a mirror and it's like, hey, did you know your name backwards spells Tim Scam?
Hey, did you know that your name backwards spells Tim Scam?
It's like, oh.
Yeah, that was actually, it was an interesting episode, although I feel the villain's end goal was a little bit weird.
All these villains have weird end goals, except like 3.
Basically, his end goal was to vaporize the world's oceans as revenge for being fired from Whoop, the organization that the girls are a part of.
Going to use it to evaporate the entire Earth's water from the safety of my spaceship.
Yeah, that was just weird. And the fact it worked nearly instantly, and then they restored it near instantly. I mean, that's par for the course for 2000s, but oh my god.
But apart from that, I actually think that the episode was decent, although the villain's end goal could have been a little bit better. I would easily rank this one as a good episode, because you did see a lot of action in it, and there was the whole moment where Jerry was almost dead in the space station.
Jerry!
That was like pretty, for a second episode, I would feel that was pretty intense, actually.
Yeah, the fact that they were hiding him in space just worked, and they were tricking the girls and, well, everyone else by having him being on vacation and golfing.
Well, retired, I think.
retired, whatever. Jerry is old. He should retire.
Oh, probably.
But yeah, I think it was an all right episode. Probably between decent and good. Here's Tim Scam.
I would call it decent.
I mean, he has good looks, at least.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something. All right, episode 3. Get away!
Right, that one was very intriguing. That was the one where they essentially had to go on a what was it called? Like a trip to relax?
Vacation?
Yeah.
He sent them on a vacation to Hawaii. And then Alex falls for somebody this time.
My board got away from me.
That's true. Alex fell for someone, which was they didn't really have a change of a trope back then, but
yeah, man. They all fall for someone. They're all teenage girls. All rich teenage girls in Beverly Hills. It's to be expected.
Now, the whole thing about the volcano being built up to erupting was pretty cool, but then the final reveal, which kind of ruined it a little bit, made it a little bit more funny, but I would actually rank it a little bit higher because of it. Because originally, I thought the villain just trying to, the backstory to set up was the villain trying to burn everyone so they could have a ruined face like them.
And when the world is covered in lava, you all will look like me.
But then it was turned out to be a fake villain because it was just Whoop doing a field test on them the entire time.
Yeah, they made the really good-looking guy become a nerd, pimply guy. But he still could surf, so... But then volcano started erupting for real, and well...
If the villain had been a real villain, I would have ranked this one at about okay. But because it was just a setup, I would actually put this one in decent.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. It's such an interesting one. And then I think the lava was like, what was it, salsa or something?
Yeah, it was salsa sauce.
Oh, we're gonna burn. Ah, ladies, don't worry about it. It's salsa.
It's definitely not lava. It's marinara sauce.
I don't think I have an eye for these kind of things.
Is it better than Tim Scam, though? I think Tim Scam was better. Because sure, the twist was good, but they could have at least not made the pimply, that Corey, Alex's crush, become a pimply guy. Yeah, seems to be par for the course for these things. Though I will say, the way they made people disappear in these volcanoes was pretty cool.
What on earth?
They actually do that quite a bit. Another thing I actually love about this series is, like, every episode you see the girls in a whole different outfit. You don't see that often nowadays.
Yeah, they're really good at doing that, which is honestly applaudable, even for back then. Like, that requires a lot of extra work for the team that made this.
It does, yeah. On to the next one. Stuck in the Middle Ages with you. This one, time travel.
Yeah, we were not actually expecting it to be actual mind travel at first. I think some of us actually thought originally it was going to be a LARP thing they got teleported to, but no, they actually got sent back to 1136 in medieval England.
My data says you're in medieval England, circa 1136 AD.
What?
It was just, when they revealed it was legit time travel. And this isn't the first time that something really weird happened. But time travel's just weird.
Especially in this case, like, this came out of complete left field, but it was actually a pretty decent episode apart from that.
The ending was actually pretty good, that they at one point stole outfits locally to sneak in somewhere. They bring those back for their best costume thingy at the Halloween dance, and their costumes weren't authentic enough.
Your costumes just aren't authentic enough.
Yeah, which is just hilarious.
It was just great. But yeah, the villain, he was pretty good. Well, not necessarily. He looked awesome. I will say
he
that.
Looked awesome, man.
Oopsie.
But his ideas, I don't think he really understood how they would actually work in the end, what his plan is.
To be fair, he's from Malibu, apparently. So
that is true.
And he's from the future. Most people in modern times wouldn't really understand what it means to go back in time and take over.
Oh, yeah. Like, apart from that, I would say it's pretty good. It was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was certainly something enjoyable. I told you, he looks awesome. I love the picture.
Yeah. The night armor he had was pretty damn cool looking.
But so you would say it's a good one?
I would call it good. All of the villains' motives was a little bit misplaced, but then again, he probably didn't think a lot about it.
You see, I come from a royal lineage of kings, and thanks to a goody-goody king from the Middle Ages, my family lost their throne and their wealth.
To be fair, a lot of villains' motives are misplaced, but The mere fact that he figured time travel out and got really advanced technology at his disposal to do this. Impressive.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Episode 5, Child's Play.
Oh, yeah, this one. This one was very weird.
It was. And the villain, how do you describe this guy? He was obsessed with the past and making his little Andals or something big again, popular.
Children who once adored my little Anne have grown up and forgotten the joy, the simplicity. They're only interested in high-tech gizmos and silly electronic toys.
Yeah, which was apparently a Soviet-era doll he made because apparently the villain was from Russia back in the 70s.
I mean, his name is Vladimir Kozarev or whatever.
Yeah.
But his plan overall is to turn everyone into the world into children.
Adults across the world will be forced to remember the joy of the little Anne as soon as I regress them to the children they once were.
So he, erases their memories or something when you look into the eyes of a doll?
No, I didn't really erase the memories either. I think it just changed the mentality to be that of a child, which was very intriguing because Sam, despite being basically hypnotized into being a child again, still knew everything she would know.
I spy with my little eyes something that is big. A computer. You're good.
But her mentality was just that of a child.
Very much so. And she definitely recognized the little Andal. That was something she had as a kid.
It was very intriguing. But I would say the villain's motives was very weird. Many of these villains are very weird.
All of them are weird in some capacity.
Personally,
it was a decent one overall. It's not something that blew me away.
Personally, I would put it in okay, but I could up it to decent. I could see it.
Though the picture, the thumbnail on it scares me.
Oh yeah, when they have the disguises as little ants. Oh yeah.
That's definitely not better than Tim Scam.
Oh yeah.
All right, number 6, The Eraser.
Oh, this one, yes.
Oh, this is where memories are erased.
Yes, this is the one. Where essentially some weird blob creatures are erasing the memories of very top scientists and such.
I actually can't remember what the villain wanted.
The villain was essentially siphoning all this intelligence, I think, into something.
Mr. Hannigan, I will only say this once. $1 billion must be left at Black Death Cove by tomorrow morning at dawn. If not, I promise you will regret it.
I thought that was a later episode where he was taking the knowledge.
That might be a later one, yes, you might be right.
Lester Crowley. He wanted to be a scientist. Evidently, he tried some experimenting on his own. At night, he secretly worked on a cure for memory loss using sea creatures.
Yeah, I can't remember who the villain was. But yeah, they were erasing memories with blobs and stuff. It was really weird. Sam lost her memory and became besties with, Mandy.
What a totally amazing surprise! I needed to get a tan for the school pictures. I look like a mime.
That must be why he was so unforgettable, but perhaps his motives was not really that good. Called the episode okay.
I think it was only at most okay. Wasn't terrible, but I wouldn't even call it decent.
Yeah. I'll call it okay. I didn't really remember much of the episode, which probably tells me that it was not that interesting.
Yeah, it really wasn't. All right, The Fugitives, episode 7.
Now this one I liked. This one was actually really cool. The whole idea that Sam, Chloe, and Alex was actually being framed.
Let's see. Well, for starters, you can hand over all the cash you got in this dump.
And then kicked out of Whoop, basically, and having Whoop after them. That was a really cool concept.
It really was.
Especially that early on in the show.
They were hiding out, stealing things, trying to just clear their name. While Jerry wanted to put an inhibitor on them so they couldn't do anything bad. If I'm recalling correctly.
Yeah. We're going to implant behavioral modification chips into your brains. You'll never have another aggressive thought as long as you live.
For some reason, they made hundreds of these clones. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Phony!
Of course, everyone will think you girls perpetrated the crimes.
And apparently it was some villain they had known before that we've never known about.
I made them myself. Nurtured them since they were little more than strands of DNA. Incredible likeness, don't you think?
So that kind of confused it a little, which I think is a little bit of a plot hole personally. I almost feel like this could easily have been a season 2 episode, after an episode with this villain previously.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I really enjoyed the setup of it. I would actually be, normally would I've given this a great one. I would normally have given it a great or even excellence. But because the villain loophole, I would just put it on good personally.
Was it their past or Whoop's past? Can't remember.
It was their past because you actually see a flashback with them and him falling down. The villain.
Yeah, not surprised. So yeah, you said it was good. I would agree there. If it wasn't for the villain.
Yeah.
But I think overall it was great.
It's not for that loophole.
Honestly.
But that loophole, I just feel it really breaks the continuity a little bit.
But don't forget there is a later one we only ever saw the part 1 of.
That is true. We might see an episode that go back to the past about this guy. We'll never know.
So if we're judging it based on purely its merits, with that loophole, I would still say it's a great one. Just because the concept was amazing and it was done pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this next one. Episode 8. Abductions.
Ah, yes. The Nobel Prize stuff. That was a really interesting one, too.
Yeah. They were kidnapping people to steal their knowledge and put it in the brain of a high schooler. He got a very big head.
Basically.
Literally.
A very big head. Basically, the villain's motives was intriguing. He was wanting his best for his son, but I wouldn't really call whatever was happening healthy when we saw it.
Soon the father of the most intelligent child in the world. My son will be a genius in no time. A star pupil in school. No one will dare pick on him the way they picked on me.
Yeah, definitely not healthy at all. But it was certainly an interesting one. That is for sure.
I would easily call that episode good, personally.
I don't think the son actually knew what was happening, though.
I don't think so either. So it was kind of cruel from that ambassador who was his parent.
Apparently there's a clown in it. Or some clown-looking dude. Wait, that was the bad guys. Good, decent?
I would say it's decent.
But what is it superior of in these, then?
Oh, that's a hard one. It's certainly not superior than Tim Scam.
Obviously, Tim Scam's great. I do think it's a little better than this one.
Yeah.
That dude's was just creepy and weird. On to the next one. Model Citizens.
Oh, yeah, that one. That one where the models were being kidnapped to be turned into... to create perfect model bodies by body part swapping.
Yeah.
Now, that was an intriguing concept.
Now that's odd. What? The skin on her arms and hands, it's all sorts of different colors.
And Clover was taken and given really muscular legs.
Don't worry.
Yeah, real big legs. Damn.
Like,
that was
something. And when she was walking around and stuff, the screen was shaking. It was just great.
Oh yeah, like, it was a fun episode, and the villain's motive was really fucking stupid, but I actually liked it.
It's simple, really. I want to create an army of perfect models so that I can dominate the industry that destroyed my career.
I mean, it's not the stupidest one. That's later. Trust me, I hate one of them coming up.
But yeah, I would call Model Citizen a pretty great episode. I had some good laughs in it.
It was definitely a fun one, yeah. But yeah, it was an enjoyable episode overall. Nothing amazing with the villain or anything. It's not as good as the Knight. All right, the next one, Spy Gladiators. That one was actually a pretty fun one, actually.
Yes, I liked this one. This one was actually really cool.
People are being brought onto a game show called Fight. And there's gladiators in them that try to stop them from reaching the goal. Well, people are disappearing on there. It turns out that anyone who disappeared became a gladiator via mind control.
Yes, they were mind controlling them with some kind of collar, I think.
But my temperament collars will. I can control the moves of every gladiator on the island with a remote control.
Mind controlling electric collars. They never want anyone to win. The dude was just obsessed with being a winner. Like the guy who ran the show didn't ever want to lose.
No one wins on my show. My gladiators are unbeatable. Unbeatable.
But they made Sam a gladiator, and it was glorious.
You look tense.
It was actually a really good episode, and the fact the guy they originally went to save actually turned out to be really cool and helped them. That was added a lot more to it. Like, the spies alone were not the ones running the show.
And he actually did win in the end, because they actually went on fight, and they accidentally kicked him and damaged his collar somehow. I think he fell into water.
What's this gaudy thing?
And he eventually got free of it because of that and saved two of them, Alex and Clover.
Honestly, I really enjoyed it. And then the side plot with the bully girl, which is the biker girl, I think, actually, was also pretty good.
You know what happened to the last person who touched my ride? Let's just say she eats her dinner through a straw these days.
Listen here, you big Neanderthal! I've been chased by wild wolves, had boulders thrown at me, and fought gladiators all night! So if you want a piece of me, let's get it on!
Honestly, I would actually call that one an actual excellent episode. I enjoyed it a lot, and the villains was not trying to do world domination, anything stupid. He just wanted to have a very good show where he always won and could get, probably rich from it, but nothing too outlandish.
Yeah, it wasn't like, I'm going to destroy the world or freeze it to death or anything else. It was just, I'm running a really cool game show and I just want to be the best. And it was just enjoyable overall.
Yeah, I would call it an excellent episode.
Definitely not perfect or a masterpiece. I don't think any of those are in this one. I can't think of any.
Probably not, but we'll see.
Alrighty, episode 11, Silicon Valley Girls.
Oh yeah, that one. That one was also interesting.
This one has a sentient AI named Chad.
Yeah, which we kind of figured out pretty quickly, but it's kind of obvious.
I mean, they do reveal the villains typically pretty fast. But Adam didn't actually want Chad to hurt anyone. He just wanted to cause pranks and stuff.
I asked you to prank everyone, but you've been hurting them instead. Coach Hassler and Principal Vegan and Brett?
Yes, the ones who hurt us.
Chad, on the other hand, was going out of his way to torture them. One of them was a roller coaster, I think.
Brett has been a bad boy.
Yes.
Oh.
Roller coaster in New Vegas. Not New Vegas. Las Vegas. Why did I say New Vegas?
I don't know. All the Vegas. Though, for some reason, he learned to hate Adam and decided to, you know what I do to my enemies? Fire nuclear missiles at them.
Someone in Silicon Valley just used the internet to hack into a missile base on Guam.
Excuse me now. I have some schools to vaporize.
Yeah, basically he went full Skynet. When the whole Adam didn't want to be with it anymore.
He also mind-controlled Adam or something.
We need to share your mind, your creativity, your body.
You are right, Chad.
Yeah, through a headset of some kind.
It was a really weird episode.
Weird episode, but I actually enjoyed it. I would actually call it great. One of the better ones they had.
Yeah, I don't disagree on that. It was a good one. I enjoyed it. Oh, and there's judges and stuff as a side plot. We're not really talking about side plots. Mandy's involved in all of them but one episode. One episode, Mandy just doesn't exist.
We mostly focus on the actual mission plots in it.
Yeah,
not the side plots in the school. Just
assume Mandy's there trying to cause trouble with her terrible, terrible, annoying voice.
Objection, your dishonor.
Yeah. And winning about half the time, actually.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Alrighty, episode 12, Queen for the Day.
Oh, yeah, this one.
This one, Clover became a queen. Or she dressed up as a queen, I should say.
Yeah, she dressed up to take the place of the queen to protect her in a fictional kingdom in Africa. 2 fictional countries, I think, actually.
Yeah, one of them was Kingdom of Canopia. They're trying to form a peace treaty between their kingdom and Canopia. I wonder if it has any relations to Canopia.
Yeah. It was actually a really interesting episode because it actually dealt with a little bit of a serious concept of having 2, smaller countries at war and them trying to solve that and someone trying to sabotage that from within to keep a war going.
For money. Because war is profitable.
You see, if the war ends, I won't be able to sell my anti-gravity guns to the General of Canopia. When Canopia wins the war, I'll be queen of both countries.
Which was actually quite a good villain plot. Like, honestly, a much more believable villain plot.
I mean, the villain was kind of obvious, but at the same time, that may just be because I've seen so many shows where the bestie is the actual evil person.
Oh, Makita, you're okay? Yes. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for you 4.
But overall, I think it was either good or great.
I would actually say it's the greatest episode, apart from obviously the one we have in Excellence. I would actually rank it the best of the great episodes, personally. Because I think it was actually really good.
Yeah, I feel like this is actually above that.
And having a very exotic locale, too, in Africa was actually pretty neat.
It was, yeah. The motivation is kind of weird. I want money! That's like motivation of a third of the villains in this series. But her way of going about it's one of the smarter ones, at least. Not world domination or anything, it's just, I'm gonna sell weapons to both sides. And advanced weapons, mind you. Like they had tractor beams or something?
Yeah, some kind of unique dust from a meteor strike that was able to do that. But I would say actually a believable villain because of that.
Yeah? Alrighty. The next one. Shrinking. This is basically Despicable Me, where they start going around shrinking things.
Yeah, that's basically what the plot of this was. I actually couldn't stop thinking about that when you mentioned it.
And they're little people. They were ex-Whoop employees.
Diminutive Smalls. Years ago, he was a Whoop scientist working on a formula to increase strength by reducing mass. There was a freak accident. He and his two siblings got shrunk by his own machine, but gained incredible strength.
Who figured out how to shrink things, and they, I guess, shrunk themselves and never figured out how to make themselves bigger.
It was a very weird plot, but I enjoyed the exotic locales because you got to see a lot of the world in it. They got to draw a lot of the landmarks.
What I can remember, though, their original motivation was just steal a bunch of stuff.
Instead of shrinking and stealing the monuments of the world so I could decorate my island.
But they got new ideas to start shrinking major cities after Clover got shrunk.
I'm going to shrink and steal the cities of the world, people and all, so I can have subjects to rule over.
Yeah, basically, which was intriguing, but honestly, I feel it was kind of mid, the episode.
Yeah, it wasn't anything amazing, but it was certainly something.
I would call it low end of decent, almost bordering on okay.
Yeah. Oh, nope, found it. It's this one. But yeah, at most, I think it's just okay. But maybe it's just because I was thinking of Despicable Me the whole time.
Oh yeah, I would put it in the upper end of okay.
All right, we first had time travel. Now, aliens!
Aliens! Wine boom.
Please no. But there's a new group in this one, a mercenary group called Gooper. I don't know what it stands for.
I am the leader of Gooper. Global Organization of Pilfering Extraterrestrial Resources.
Sounds really stupid, but they're very evil, abducting people and making aliens around. And also abducting aliens, or enslaving them.
Because apparently aliens are a thing.
Excuse me?
Did you just speak English?
Actually, I'm better with French, but I'm pretty good in English and more than 25 other intergalactic dialects.
And apparently the aliens are like a mirror to Whoop.
Yeah, the aliens have their own intergalactic form of Whoop.
We're an elite team of spies. Let's go.
But they're overall a peaceful group. And the evil bad guy, Sage Hawkins, wanted to extort every government in the world for money!
What plan?
To create fear. And when Earth is completely terrified of an invasion, I'll force the aliens to make their demands. The abductions will only stop if the world's governments hand over all their wealth.
Yeah, apart from that plot by using aliens to extort for money, I think it was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, it was fun, and the aliens, I liked them. Like, they were good characters and everything. And the villain's motive being money, come on. That's like, as I said, it's a third of the villains in this whole thing.
When you have access to alien technology, are you really just going for money by extorting the governments?
I mean, eventually she'd probably do more. Oh, cool, I got all this wealth. I want the world now. She'd probably have upped it at that point, but she didn't get to that point. But yeah, they have their own little tech and stuff. It's just a fun episode.
Now it's our turn to help you.
Neat toy. Where'd you get it?
From our spy supervisor, Jerry.
Yeah, I would call it good.
Weird, but good. This next one, I hate it. I hated this one.
The fabled and famous furry episode.
That's not why I hated it. I hated it because of the villain. I hated this villain, and I'm going to say this is 100% worst. Personally,
Oh, yeah.
You may not agree, but I hated the villain. They also made Catgirl Clover in this one.
Hungry? How about we talk about this over a tasty saucer of milk?
Yeah, basically, this is the infamous furry episode, as people call it. But to be honest, from that angle, from the furry angle, not bad at all. I would not say it was anything like as bad as people make it out to be. But the villain, absolutely stupid motif.
Hey, so what's your motive? I want to make money. Oh, cool. How? I'm going to turn people into animal people and then skin them and, well, kill them and skin them. Also, these awesome looking human robe fur things don't have seams in them.
Furries. My hybrid creations will become the world's first form-fitting, seamless fur coats, made without a single stitch. My fabulous fur line has made me insanely rich.
I hate her.
Yeah.
I hate her with a passion.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I would say the villain's motif and how she went about it, I would easily dump this one down to okay, personally. Up to okay, but still okay.
No, I just hate it. The villain ruined the entire episode for me. That motive alone, it ruined the entire episode.
Yeah, it really did.
And they weren't even sexy cat girls. Come on.
I would put it in okay, though.
Well, I'm putting it in bad. It's between, I can't put it right here. So pretend it's between bad and meh. You know what? I'll be nice and put up meh. But I hated it with a passion. The Black Widows, episode 16. This one is about cheerleaders.
This one was also cool.
It was. So, some cheerleaders were kidnapped. And they just went missing. The spies go to investigate it, and well, they investigate by becoming cheerleaders. Apparently they did pretty decently for just winging it. Not surprised.
Yeah, more or less. I assume Whoop's boots had a lot to do with it.
Probably, that's my guess. A new cheer squad, Black Widow. Not as sexy as Natasha, sadly. They appear and do something nearly identical to the honeybees. They're also robots.
Just got a whole lot stranger. Whoa!
Honestly, apart from the whole motif of essentially wanting to destroy the cheerleader sporting scene, which is what the villain's motif was.
I tried out for the honeybees 10 years ago, but didn't make the squad. Apparently, I wasn't sweet enough. You see, when I take my Black Widows to the world competition, they're gonna put on a show no one will ever forget. Take out everyone in that entire stadium. All those who love the vapid world of cheerleading, that is.
I mean, to be fair, they were going to kill everyone there.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Mandy has stage fright.
Wait, I can't go in there. There's too many people.
It's great.
Oh, yeah. That's actually something we learned there. We learned that there'll be stage fright.
Yeah, it's a different motive. It's not money. It's not some really stupid form of revenge. It's, we're going to get to the championship and then kill everyone with super advanced robots that we stole knowledge of cheerleading for.
I would call it decent. I think it was a decent episode.
Yeah, I think it was decent. Between decent and good, somewhere in there. But a lot of these are also between decent and good here, so.
Oh, yeah.
Spy versus Spy.
I'm Pam. This is Alice and Crimson. We're spies from Whoop.
So the spies are replaced by spies. If I'm thinking, yeah, this is the one.
This one. This is a very cool episode. Like, concept-wise, conceptually, this is a must sometimes in these old 2000 shows. You almost must have an episode that's kind of like this.
Oh, yeah. But even the villain's idea? I'm thinking of what this one is.
Yeah, see, he had the ability to control the sun, or well, rather the Earth's position to rotate towards the sun, so he could essentially blackmail countries into paying him for sunlight.
Besides, I wouldn't mind a little sun for myself.
Yeah. And he also could mind control, which is why there was a spy versus spy kind of thing. The original spies were actually Jerry's old spies.
You used to have our jobs? Until we were captured by the villain on our last mission.
But they went missing like 7 years ago and apparently were mind controlled for that whole time. Or probably imprisoned and mind controlled over the last few years. And then eventually they're freed and retire from the spy life because I'm assuming they don't really know what is going on any longer.
We've had enough Whoop adventures for one lifetime.
Besides, we decided we wanted to help rebuild the world's energy plants. Can't help but feel a little responsible.
Honestly though, I thought apart from the villain's motif, pretty decent. Very cliche, but very decent.
I think it was actually a good episode. I did enjoy this whole spy thing and how they were treating them for being mind controlled. They still had their own personalities.
Oh yeah, they still had their personalities, which made it really cool.
Their motivations for doing things were different. So I actually would consider it closer to good, but again, it's one of those, it's between them.
Yeah, I would put it in good.
All right. Evil Boyfriend. This one.
Oh.
Honestly,
this one actually.
This was a good one. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, this one actually had me thinking throughout it if I was correct or not. I actually had doubts through this one about the villain, which is an indication of how well written this episode was.
Yeah, so this is one of the few episodes where Sam falls for someone. She really doesn't. She's more the nerd girl. But yeah, it's a rare time when she falls for someone. But it was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
So there is a military invisibility formula.
I trust you found the formula to perform satisfactorily.
Weird, but he wanted to get it so he could kidnap the president. Or something.
Yeah, the president of the United States.
Anyway, now that you've helped me steal this, I'll be the ultimate criminal. And my first crime will be to kidnap the president and hold him for ransom.
But we are led to believe through Sam, when she encounters this guy at the high school, that he's trying to steal it to prevent his uncle, who supposedly is it a father? I don't know, works for this government to prevent people from ever getting hands on it. But that's just something to trick you.
The truth is, I brought you here because I need your help. You see, I know that you're a spy working on the invisibility case. The invisibility formula is my father's invention, only he intends to use it for evil.
Sam into helping him actually get it, because he's a good thief, but he's not good at all the other stuff.
He does make Sam fall for him quite hard, where she's not spending time with her other friends.
Hey Sammy, it's Alex. Are you coming over? Call us.
And the weird thing is, you actually almost believe him throughout of it, because there's never any hints that he might not actually be telling the wrong thing.
Until the very end where he gets the serum and he's like, I'm actually evil!
You're my boyfriend.
I was just using you. Truth is, I'd never date someone so pathetic.
Okay, no, he didn't do that, but he did admit that, yeah, I just used you to get this so I can become the world's greatest criminal!
But then he actually drinks the invisibility poison and actually has to go naked to not be seen.
Quick, he's getting away!
Yeah, which is something rarely you see in any shows with invisibility. They tend to make it work over their skin or over their clothes, so you don't ask weird questions like, why are they running around naked?
But he actually almost succeeds with his plan by getting into the White House and kidnapping the president.
I mean, he does succeed for a little while. He actually does successfully kidnap the president, force him to drink an invisibility potion, and then strips the president. Huh.
Yeah, which was kind of awkward.
Huh, I didn't think about that. How did he do that so quick?
But honestly, for everything about this guy and the writing, I would basically call this one either perfect or masterpiece, because when you actually have doubts about the villain's motifs and it's actually set up that well, you know it's a very good episode.
I would say between excellent or perfect. I'm not even sure I could call it perfect, just because it is an older show and everything. It's just up to modern snuff. I'm trying to be...
But for a 2000s episode, for like a show, I would say that's really well written.
It is, yeah. It'll be it's excellent, but close to perfect. It just doesn't scream perfect to me. All right, Game Girls. This is where VR comes in.
Yeah, this one was interesting.
No, this is more VR as in Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, where they're zapped into video games. Or something.
Yeah, because people don't really have any idea what VR is back in the day when this was made.
I mean, to be fair, it was Nintendo that did do something similar to VR in like the early 90s or something.
Yeah, basically, people were being kidnapped and put into video games. To essentially serve as real opponents to people playing the game, so there was a challenge. Very weird concept and very Tron-coded, actually. Felt like a homage to Tron.
Yeah, but also at the same time, she plans to duplicate them inside the game.
Yeah.
So they would never be able to leave.
Once I put my games into mass production, all the athletes will be multiplied 1,000 times over, trapping them permanently.
And these are the world's greatest athletes they're just kidnapping. And this was via essentially a camera, right?
Yeah, it was a camera that somehow could do this.
I mean, there was a camera in Cyber Chase as well, so.
Yeah.
My only issue is there was a major plot hole that appeared near the end. They figured out a way for silver or aluminum or something to essentially disable the whole thing. The problem is, and I don't have issues with it when it's first used, where Alex escapes and gets out of the thing. My issue is she's still wearing it when she's zapped back in.
I'll see you guys in class.
And uses that same thing to get out. She shouldn't be able to go back in that outfit.
Yeah, it should just, bounce off her, more or less.
Or just not affect her, but it did. That just annoyed me, but at the same time, it's an early 2000s, so I kind of have to forgive it.
I would kind of say the loophole, though, and that stuff kind of lowers it from great to good, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was enjoyable, but that was just too major of a plot hole to not notice. Because it was within 2 minutes. Oh, cool, I use this to get out. Hey, zap me, lady!
Lady Dragon, you want a piece of me? Come and get me!
And then somehow using it gets everyone else out. I don't know.
Well, probably because it breaks whatever they were in because of how it works, but who knows?
I don't know, they always find these weird ways to do things.
I would put it in good. Because it used to be great, but that loophole just is a little bit too much.
Aliens are definitely the better one, though.
Yeah.
All right, next up, A Spy is Born.
Now, I don't actually think we can put a proper review on this one yet. Because this is a part 1.
That's true. It is a part 1, but we can still go over it and put it as its own merit since the part 1 aspect of it doesn't affect anything until the absolute end.
That is true.
There's nothing else like the earlier one where it's a past villain they've dealt with.
Because this is like the first episode where we actually ever see that it's the first of a 2-parter. We don't see that before at any other point before this.
Yeah, that'll be a season 2, apparently. But overall,
yeah, which is weird.
Hollywood actors are being kidnapped in broad daylight. So Alex goes undercover as one of them and, gets kidnapped.
Just want to thank everyone for supporting my new movie.
They're taken to some island and it's a movie director. That's what it is. So it's an island set up to be the most epically awesome movie site film thing ever. And real and dangerous. And probably gonna kill them all.
The Titan Saloon.
But hey, he'll get a kicking movie out of it. So Alex goes and works on saving 2 of the actors that she's with. I don't know who they were.
Grab hold. I have a plan.
I don't remember any movies they did, but whatever.
Regardless, though, it was a decent episode, and then the fact that at the end, with the villain actually managed to escape and capture Alex again. Means it leads up to whatever part 2 will be, because he does mention during the episode that he might have found his new stars in seeing how the spies, survive his challenges.
Yeah, so probably another movie. But overall, it was an enjoyable one.
Oh yeah, I would call it enjoyable, and I'm actually excited to see what part 2 in season 2 does about this, continuing on this plotline. Because we might actually we might have gotten our first continuous villain that might show up again.
It's possible, or he'll just be dealt with.
Yeah.
So good or great? Because I think it's between those.
I would call it good.
I think it's beyond that, though. Passion Patties, episode 21. Clover gets fat.
Oh. Yeah, this one was weird, but I also found it strangely enjoyable.
Oh my god, this one was just weird.
The comedy was actually really good in this one, despite everything.
Yeah, it wasn't just like fat jokes or anything either, which was just good. But basically, you eat one of these Passion Patties, and you become absolutely obsessed with them.
Give me every box you have!
Like, so obsessed that you'll probably kill for them.
And the fun thing is, it's actually revealed that it's not even something really unnatural that's making them addictive. It's just really damn good sugar.
Some kind of highly concentrated sugar extract. Anyone who tried Passion Patties was hooked right away.
Very concentrated, I think it was. A very concentrated thing of sugar.
Which is hilarious. There's literally just a very good concentration of sugar that makes people go absolutely bonkers for these cookies.
The reason the villain's doing this is because they couldn't be as a part of the Happy Girl Scouts or whatever.
You see, I too was once a happy girl, and I like the cookies. Too much on my plate. I ate the cookies instead of selling them, and my troop kicked me out. It ruined my life.
Yeah, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't like it when the villain really lowers the plot. Like, if they would just get everyone addicted to their cookies to, make money in this case, I could understand it. It was an easy way to become rich. Super rich, even.
But she wanted to ruin everyone's lives via cookies.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good cookie, but the reasons that you do all that just for petty revenge and it makes the world ground to a halt? Come on, at least do it for money.
Yeah.
I'm going to ruin everyone else's. I've spent 20 years planning my revenge.
I would actually say this would have been excellent for me, but because of that villain plotline, I would put it in great, personally.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a good one. It was great.
But I will say, it gave me a lot of laughs. It was a very laughable episode.
It was, and then when Jerry and his other agents appeared, they were all just fat as well.
If only she'd used her baking skills to cook up good instead of evil.
Yeah, that was hilarious to see.
Though, this reminds me before we move on. Somehow, this magical sugar cookie extract makes you gain that 200 pounds in like 20 seconds.
Time for a taste of your own medicine, Doc.
Yeah, that was weird.
It didn't do it for anyone else except the end bad guy.
Yeah.
Though it was funny when she paid people by making them, eat cookies.
Yeah, that was funny. That all her workers and she got cookies for free.
Oh, yeah. All right, this next one is either an excellent or a perfect. Soul Collector.
Oh, yeah. This one might also be one of the best written ones from what the whole point is.
Yeah. So basically, this dude is stealing the youth from people. I'm not sure how that works because they're still physically the same age, sort of.
But it's like their soul and life force has been drained.
But at the same time, it also does affect their teeth, at the least. And physically.
Ooh, you've got a head full of strong teeth.
Yeah, those are the days.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what he's stealing, but basically this dude's been alive since the 13th century.
Yeah, so at least 700, 800 years is what we know as so far anyway. He might be older.
Yeah, they found his diary or something with that.
Smith is 800 years old. This is his journal. There's entries dating back to the 13th century.
But he was he apparently keeps to being a principal of different schools and stealing the youth of the kids and moving on. He then wants to steal the youth to make himself immortal from an entire concert.
I mean the Happy Fun Fellas concert. Miss one of the largest gatherings of young people in years? I think not. Soon all that youth will be mine.
Which,
that was quite the scheme.
It is smart. And he did good. And it's not like he didn't want money, he didn't want revenge or anything. He just wanted to live.
Yeah, like for what he was and how he was written and what the whole point of him was, his motive made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
He just wanted to continue his, immortal lifestyle.
I don't know why his lackeys followed him. I don't think we ever figured that one out.
Yeah, we surmised he was perhaps sharing the youth somehow, but I do not know how that makes sense. At least, but they were certainly capable of fighting. Like, damn, some of the moves they could do.
I mean, centuries of combat experience, at least for him.
Oh yeah, like he completely thrashed Sam.
Out of my way.
1-on-1.
Though I feel like he doesn't need to be a principal that often if you steal like 80 years per kid in a school. You're stealing thousands of years from a single school. So there has to be something more because you're pretty much already immortal at that point from one school. You do that every century or so.
But the cool thing that happened when they reverted the beams that were stealing the youth onto the crystals he was using for it, he turned to dust.
Yeah, he's dead.
That's weird.
We actually had a villain die.
Well, we think he died. We're like 99% sure he died.
Yeah, like the fact he just turned to dust in an instant because he aged 800 years in like a few seconds.
Pretty much.
It was really cool. Like, honestly, this was I would actually call this one almost a perfect episode.
Honestly, I'd put it in a perfect, personally. It just has that quality. Cool. It's just a really good one.
And the villain made sense.
Yeah.
Like, he made sense for what the setup was.
Alrighty, on to the next one. Mauled. Malls are being stolen.
Yeah. This one was also unique if you read between the lines and how they wrote it.
It's a communist one.
Yeah. Essentially, we surmised that the villain was essentially angry at malls and consumerism. He was capturing mall goers and brainwashing them with some kind of control chip on the upper... What's that thing called? Upper part of the head or
you
something.
Basically put on top, like near the top of their head where their forehead is, and it mind controls them and gives them sick-ass tattoos.
Stay away! Sorry.
Oh yeah, it gave them Australian tattoos, which was very awkward.
Yeah, they trained in Australia. And yet again, Sam was captured and turned into one of them.
You call yourselves anti-shopping revolutionaries? I think not. Sam?
Honestly, she is a badass. For some reason, she became a boss too. I'm not sure why.
Oh yeah, I assume because of her skills.
What? You mean, I guess skills would translate.
Yeah, but essentially, if you read between the lines of how they wrote it, you can kind of tell the villain was essentially an anti-capitalist.
I plan on ridding the world of all materialism and consumerism.
Who wanted to end consumerism and materialism. Which is intriguing that they would actually write something like that in a show in the 2000s aimed at children. Of course, they didn't use the actual words of, communism or socialism. But you could kind of see the message.
Consumerism bad! Destroy all malls! Or something.
And Clover was not helping those allegations at all on doing the weird mall drowning scene.
Yeah, that was a weird one, actually. Oh, you like shopping? Well, here, have all the stuff and be buried alive in it.
And then she actually got found with glee whenever she opened some bags and found stuff she liked.
If Alex wasn't there, all the malls in the world would be destroyed. A shame.
Yeah, basically. I would actually call that an excellent episode. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Oh, and Mandy, as you can see on the picture, she tried framing Clover for shoplifting.
No one gets away with calling me beauty queen and not really meaning it. This should bring down that pathetic wannabe.
And it backfired.
Jerry saves the day. All right. Do you believe in magic?
In a young girl's heart.
Okay. So, just to preface this, we've had time travel, we've had aliens, and now we have legitimate magic.
Yup.
No, it's not just tricks, sleight of hand, weird crap. No, it's magic.
Yeah, full on magic. We thought at first it was just tricks, and it was kind of building up to just being parlor tricks. Really good parlor tricks.
Yeah, a really skilled magician doing things crazy that no one understands, which is part of how a magician works. But no, at the end, he's a literal magician and just makes boxes, floats, and chucks them at people.
Yeah, he goes full telekinetic.
So yes, magic is also real in the Totally Spies universe. So you can time travel with technology. There are aliens around that also have an intergalactic whoop. And there's magic.
But this episode did feature one cool thing. It had a very good red herring.
It did, yeah. So they thought the main bad guy was dead. He was dead for several years, so they go to visit his castle or something. And his nephew?
Grandson.
Oh, it's grandson. I couldn't remember who it was. His grandson runs the whole thing.
His grandson still keeps the family castle open as a public shrine to his grandfather. He might be able to shed some light on these things.
And gives him a tour and stuff, and most people would think, oh, he's the villain. He would know all the tricks and everything. So he's doing it as revenge for his grandfather or something.
Yeah, because he becomes very defensive when they try to ask about some of the tricks.
Any real magic enthusiast knows great magicians never reveal their tricks. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you two to leave.
So you kind of get this feeling that he might actually be the villain because he basically tells them to leave.
But he wasn't. His grandfather appears as like, you're alive?
Grandfather, you're alive.
Yes, dear boy. The great Kandinsky lives.
And then he hypnotizes his grandson to help him with a heist on a plane.
Now, will you join me, Gregor?
Yes, grandfather.
And that's where the telekinesis comes in.
Which was a really good red herring, so I will give them applause for that.
Oh, yeah. The magic threw me off, though, at the very end.
Yeah, if not for the magic being real, I would definitely put this as great. But because the magic was real, I would say it was good. It was a good episode.
I think it might be better than the Black Knight episode. Not Black Knight. The time traveling one there. Yeah. Because I think it's very close to great. So maybe this one.
I think so.
I don't know. I'm sure we got somewhere wrong. This is a pre-made thing with thumbnails. I'll make my own next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was overall good. I enjoyed it. The magic it threw me off. Like, is he doing that?
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Like, if he was in his own home or something, then I could say, oh, he's just using wires magically or some tech. But no, it's just magic. It doesn't come out and say it, but it's magic.
Yeah.
All right. 25. Iceman cometh. His evil plan? To freeze the world! Because he hates people.
Pollution. The depletion of the ozone. Destroying Earth's natural resources. And I've come to realize that you people don't deserve it. So, I'm taking the planet back to the Ice Age.
I actually guessed the plot of this. Strangely, very early on.
You did, yes. He's like, is this guy an environmentalist? Or you said something of that nature.
Yeah, I said something. This is a guy that is against global warming.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's trying to end global warming by cooling down the planet and all the humans on it that has led to global warming.
Specifically by cooling the core. So you get to like somewhere right at the equator, some tropical island, and it's, it's shooting ice into the air from its volcano. Really weird.
Oh, yeah. Very intriguing, but also, I don't kind of see the point in the end. Like, sure, I could see him wanting to try perhaps being extreme and ending humanity, because humanity is the reason for global warming, but why would you also stay alive yourself then?
I mean, not only that, he kidnaps Clover to make her his queen or something. I don't know.
I don't feel lonely living on the planet all by yourself.
Well, I'm a bit of a loner by nature. Now that you mention it, little companionship couldn't hurt.
Which gives some pretty some pretty weird vibes.
Yeah, he's a little old for her. Though one thing I hated about this episode is they called Clover an ice queen.
What do they say?
That you're an ice queen.
She is not an ice queen. No matter how she treats other people, she is no ice queen. At least from any other situation where I've heard someone called an ice queen, or, well, Red, where they're called an ice queen. She is not quiet. She is not cool and collected. She might be cool to, like, nerds or something, but that doesn't make you an ice queen. She is perfectly sociable without issue.
I did like the side plot when he returned to the school, that the guy she basically didn't want to see because he was the head of the chess club, I think, turned her own argument against her.
Unfortunately, I'm not free. My schedule's kind of tied up indefinitely.
Oh, sorry, Clover, but my schedule's kind of tied up.
I mean, yeah, that was funny, and good on him, too.
Yeah, very good on him. I would say this was also a good episode. Honestly, this is a pretty decent show.
Yeah. I still think it was above this. I think that was just not, it was just one of them. It was good, but All right. Man or Machine? This was something. What an evil plot by Dr. Eisenstein.
I'm Dr. Eisenstein.
To replace world leaders with animatronic robots to essentially take famous landmarks or, just setups in the world like the Autobahn in Germany and such, and essentially turn them into dangerous amusement concepts.
In Germany, the Chancellor instructed the removal of the lines on the Autobahn. He also added ramps. In Malaysia, the Prime Minister has programmed the elevators of the Petronas Towers to drop 88 floors.
Yeah, the robots were actually pretty good, too. Funny enough.
They were very cool. They were very cool looking, the ones that were actually meant for combat.
Hi, we were just leaving?
Yeah, and he was German, which just made it even funnier.
Yeah, they even actually had a proper German accent for him.
What was his full name? It's not... I know it's Eisenstein. There was something else with
I don't think
him.
we ever got a full name. I think it was just Dr. Eisenstein. But the cool reveal at the end was that the actual Doctor has been dead for a long time.
The real life Dr. Eisenstein created me in his image before he passed on. It was his way of being immortal. But unfortunately, he programmed me to self-destruct if I ever gave out that information.
The Doctor we encountered in the show was just an animatronic that the Doctor had made to try and seem immortal, to carry on his work after he died, which was a really cool little reveal, to be honest. I actually think that reveal elevated it the motive a bit. Because I could see a robot being more faulty in the concept of what the motive was than the actual guy.
My animatrons were the best. Then came this new invention. I decided to get revenge by making my version of the greatest rulers and programming him to be hazardous thrill rides.
As I can imagine, the actual guy would have gone around about this a little bit more different.
Though they did kidnap Japan's world leader being the Emperor, so...
Yeah, and not the Prime Minister, which was very weird.
So in the Totally Spies universe, Japan's ran by an emperor, who is also married to an ex-Whoop agent.
The Emperor of Japan's wife is a former Whoop agent. Through her, you can get direct access to your husband.
Apparently.
Yes, that was also a cool little thing to find out. It was cool to see the extra cultural stuff. I think it was a great episode.
Yeah, I definitely think it was a great episode.
I think because the villain turned out to actually be a robot and not the actual guy, it went from good to great. I feel it was a very good plot twist.
It was, yeah. But it was also funny that Clover apparently snuck into some military base dressed up as a general and nobody questioned it.
Oh yeah, that was also very funny to see.
Now, the only question of that episode is, was she still Whoop when she married the Emperor?
Now, that is a very good question.
Because that is impressive, and the Emperor apparently knows because he didn't question it.
Oh yeah, he did not question anything about that.
Ooh,
but I don't know.
Maybe the Emperor took over Japan with the help of Whoop, all peacefully and stuff, and then he married a Whoop agent to keep an eye on him. I don't know.
Oh, that is funny. I doubt
he'll have a prime.
Yeah, honestly,
it'll have a prime minister in the next season, I'm sure.
But for a season 1 show, for season 1 of a 2000 show, I feel it did pretty good by setting up a solid line for getting to know the characters. But obviously, it's not episodic. But then again, shows back then were not really that episodic in nature.
Oh yeah, they really weren't.
But I enjoyed it, and I'll be eager to see in season 2 how this turns out.
As long as there's no more villains like stupid cat lady. It's like that one
that
meme.
One was kind of off-putting.
You could cure cancer with this. Well, I don't want to cure cancer. I want to make dinosaurs.
Yes, that meme. I know that meme.
Some super genius figured out how to genetically modify people. And what do? They make outfits out of people so they don't have seams in them. I hated that villain so much. If it was up to just me, it'd be under the worst. But overall, it was a good season.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll be eager to do this again after season 2 with the next season.
Yay. Until next time.
See ya.